Good day, my friends. Today we are doing more fractions day 2. We are focusing on fractions multiplied by fractions and fractions divided by fractions. So first thing first, let's pause and grab your whiteboards. The first thing we are doing here is multiplying fractions review. We need to remember that we are multiplying across the numerator and across the denominator. Our first problem here is 4/10 multiplied by 5/6. Again, don't forget to multiply across our numerators and across our denominators. So rewriting our problem in our workspace, we're doing 4/10 multiplied by 5/6 equals, they're both fractions, bring your fractions bar over. I know we can multiply across, and I know 10 times 6 is 60, and I know 4 times 5 is 20. So now that we multiplied across, we can simplify. So looking at both numbers, I know that we can find our GCMs to simplify them. We're going to find the GCM, or the greatest common multiple, for 20, and the GCM for 60. So to start off our boxes, I know 1 times 20 is 20, and 1 times 60 is 60. Moving on to our multiples of 2, I know 2 times 10 is going to be 20, and then I know I can do 2 times 30 to equal 60. And then I'm going to start my multiples of 3. I know 3 times 20 is 60, and I can see that I already have a matching pair of numbers. So I'm just going to close up those boxes, and I know that I can use the 20. So if I can multiply to go forward, I can divide to go backwards. So I know 1 times 20 is 20, and 20 divided by our circled multiple equals 1. So I can start in simplifying that fraction. Get my new fraction bar. 20 divided by 20 equals 1. And then I can do 60 divided by 20 equals 3. So I know with this problem, my answer is going to be 20/60ths, or 1/3. Both of those are great, and we can simplify if the numbers are not too large. For our next problem here, I have 1/3 multiplied by 5/7. So now I'm going to rewrite it so I have some room to work, and I have 1/3 multiplied by 5/7 equals, bring my fraction bar over. Now multiplying across, I know that 3 times 7 is 21, and 1 times 5 is going to be 5. 5 only has multiples of 1 and 5, and 21 does not have any multiples of 5, so they're just going to stay 5 and 21ths. So now that we worked hard on our multiplying fractions, we need to do dividing fractions review. Don't forget, we need to keep it, switch it, flip it. So our first problem we are going to work with is 7/11 divided by 6/12. So I know that we can start by rewriting our problem. So I got 7/11 divided by 6/12. So now I want to keep, switch, and flip. We're going to keep our first number, which is the 7/11. We need to switch our math. So instead of division, we're going to do multiplication. And I need to flip my fraction. So I'm going to flip my 6/12 to now being 12/6. So now that I looked at my problem, rewrote it, now I can solve it. So we're going to add our equals sign and bring our fraction bar over and start the multiplying across procedure. So I can start with 11 times 6. Using my rules, I know that's going to be 66. And I know 7 multiplied by 12 is going to be 84. So now, what can I do next? I think we can simplify. So to start simplifying, let's find our greatest common multiples. So we are looking for 66 and 84. Starting with our multiples of 1. 1 times 66, 66. 1 times 84 is 84. Multiples of 2. 2 times 33 is 66. And 2 times 42 is 84. Moving on to 3's. I know that 3 multiplied by 22 is 66. And 3 times 28 is 84. 66 doesn't have a multiple of 4, but 84 does, and that's 4 times 21. 66 does not have a 5, neither does 84, so we're going to move on to multiples of 6. For 66, I know that we can do 6 times 11, and we can do 6 times 14. Now I can see that we have some like numbers, and so we're going to close off those boxes. And I can see that the largest number they have in common, the greatest common multiple, is going to be 6. So multiplying forward, 6 times 11, 66, and 6 times 14 is 84, I can go backwards and divide. So our answer, instead of being 84/66, is going to be 14/6. Now we can simplify it even more. So reading our fraction as a math problem, we have 14 divided by 6. We can write that out. 14 divided by 6. I know 6 can come out of 14 2 times evenly, and 6 times 2 is 12. So subtract that. 4 minus 2 is 2. 1 minus 1, 0. 6 can no longer come out of 2, so that becomes our remainder, our new numerator. And we're going to come back to our fraction and see what our denominator is going to be. And we're going to bring that 6 over. So our answer is now 2 and 2/6. But now looking at that, I can simplify it again. So we are going to know our multiples of 2 and 6. 1 times 2, that box is done. 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6, and that completes our box. Greatest common multiple is 2. We can divide them both by 2. So now our answer, we bring our whole number back, our fraction bar. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our answer is going to be 2 and 1/3. Or it can be 2 and 2/6. Or it can be 14/6. Or, before we even simplify, it can be 84/66. These are the steps we can use to get on through. All right, let's work on our last problem. We got 3/5 divided by 4/8. So we're going to rewrite that so we can work. We have 3/5 divided by 4/8. And now we need to keep, switch, and flip. We are going to keep our 3/5. We are going to switch our math, and we are going to flip our fractions. So instead of 4/8, it is now 8/4. So we can solve that. Bring our fraction bar over. I know 5 times 4 is 20, and I know 3 times 8 is 24. So before we can find our GCMs, I already know that I can convert this from an improper fraction into a mixed number. So to do that, we're going to read it as 24 divided by 20. So writing that down, we got 24 divided by 20. 20 can come out of 24 once, and 20 times 1 is 20. Doing our math, 4 minus 0 is 4. 2 minus 2 is 0. 20 can now no longer come out of 4, becomes our remainder. We're going to check back at our fraction and use the denominator it tells us. So it's 1 and 4/20. So now with 1 and 4/20, we can do our GCMs to simplify that. So I know that we can do 4 and 20. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 20 is 20. 2 times 2 is 4, and that will close off our box for 4. 2 times 10 is 20. And now we can move on to our next multiple to finish off this box. I know we can't do multiples of 3's, so we're moving on to the next one, which is 4. And I know that 4 times 5 is 20. Our next multiple was 5. It's already on our box, so let's close that up. So now looking at our boxes, the greatest common multiple is going to be 4. So now we can start rewriting that. So we'll keep our whole number. And I know 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I can write down 1 here. And I know 20 divided by 4 is 5. So now our answer is going to be 1 and 1/5. Or it's 1 and 4/20. Or it's 24/20. These are all equivalent numbers. Equivalent numbers. All right, thank you, friends. I hope you enjoyed today. Now let's get cracking on our math.